on Sadhu, Sadhu, Pade, Pade. Very satisfaction, Maharaj.
Sravana Anga is great on the as I speak, and I love to listen.
Yes, because that microphone might be saying, at least I could. So Maharaj said everything in this world has beginning and end, but there is one who has no end. He's an Anta, he's an Attakayana, as Nityananda Prabhu. So merciful, because we sang that song also, where they're singing, if you have not affection for this Nityananda Prabhu, then knowingly you're committing suicide. So, and who is forgetting Nityananda Prabhu? Who is forgetting Gurudev? First one. It's okay. Who is forgetting Gurudev? He will take what is unreal to be real and what is real to be unreal. Forgetting Nityananda Prabhu. Then we are only dealing with these external things. But if we hear about Nityananda Prabhu, then we can disconnect from this illusion, from this what is unreal, because we connect to the reality. So therefore, best in life is to hear about Krishna, hear about Ananda. Then this is like immediately happiness will come, because this is natural for the soul. This is our natural state. Everybody of us knows we are Satchidananda. We hear it 1,000 times, we speak it 1,000 times. So, how to feel it? How to realize it also? That easiest is by sleeping. You feel also happy. That is easy. But that is an tamagami. So we have to come to bring that into our conscious experience. And the best is Harikatha. The best is Harikatha is flowing. You can disconnect from this world, like deep sleep, but fully conscious. That is the difference. Fully conscious, and you can experience it. In deep sleep, we don't know what is going on. Only when it is finished, we know it was nice. But what was nice and how it was nice, and we cannot feel it. But in Harikatha, we can know it. And also in Lokana, if it's really deep, if it touches the heart, and melts the heart, then also you don't feel this world. What is hunger, thirst, back pain, or whatever you have, you forget. When Harikatha stops, then we realize what is going on. So this is the best, to come to this connection of Ananta, is through the Katha. And this Katha of Ananta, this will go inside the heart and clean everything. And it will destroy this ignorance, which is in this world is like clouding everything. Like it will come like sun, like fog is said in Bhagavatam. Like fog, when the sun will rise, the fog will disappear. And wind will also come and blow everything away. So like sun and wind together, make a happy feeling. So therefore I'm requesting Maharaj, or Maharajas, that we can disconnect from this world. This is the real holiday for the soul. People go on holiday. Now we just came from Südtirol, it's a holiday place. People come there from Germany, from Austria, from everywhere, take the cycle and the cycling up the mountain and down. This is the search for happiness. So, but the real search for happiness is to go to the sadhus and listening some Harikatha and requesting. Amito Kanda, Krishna Krishna Govinda, Ita Babaji. So, give me some meditation. This is because we don't have your beggars, so we want some little Krishna. Mancha, Kalpatru,
So, I'd love to invite Sripad Narasimha Maharaj to share some experience of this kind of holiday experience, divine holiday retreat in Krishna consciousness. So, I'd very much like to hear from him, his experience and explanation. Radhe Radhe
First of all, I want to offer my unlimited thunderbolt pranams under the divine lotus feet of our spiritual masters, our Gurudev, Nityalila, Parvishta, Vishnu Bhara, Paramahamsa, Pariyadvaja, Skuta, Satasisiman, Bhakti Goswami, all his God brothers, Param Gurudev, Nityalila, Parvishta, Chakra Guru, Samidaka, Srila Prabhupada, Rupa Guru Varga, all Vaishnavas past, present, future, acharyas, I offer my respects. I offer my respects to His Holiness Bhaktinanda Swami Maharaj, His Holiness Bhakti Sundar Sadhu Maharaj, Brahmacharyas, the Holy Pastors, all devotees here present, most all devotees here. So, every moment in our life will be auspicious if we remember Nama Chintamani, Sri Krishna Chintamani, how to call this? Rasa Vigraha, Purana Shuddhi Nitya Mukta, Vinaram Naminamino. So, what is this Chintamani? That you get something from the spiritual world. What is it? Basically, Chintamani is a touching stone, whatever you touch becomes God. Wish fulfillment. So, what wishes we have? If we look in our inside, what is bothering us in this life? What, if some wish fulfilling tree can fulfill all the wishes, what we would desire. Like some days before I spoke with Radha and the Sudadev, that he was such a pure, studying of pure devotion, that he really wanted nothing. If not the Sudadev Bhagavan, he asked, no, you have to, because you took my darshan, you must. And he said, no, I'm not a businessman, I don't want to. Also in Gaura Lila, in any Lila devotees, reciprocation with the Lord, the pure devotees, they don't want anything. And if you want something, then for others, not for themselves. And if for themselves, only in that way that they can help to others. So Srila Prabhupada used to say three things is very important. First, to give up sinful behavior. Secondly, to develop if some, like Krishna says in the end in Bhagavad Gita, say, don't worry, I am saying this. If you surrender me, I will take all your troubles away from all lives, all sins, and I will deliver it. Only Krishna Bhagavan is only that one who will finally, in the point of when leaving this mortal frame, he will be there. He will be there anyway from anybody all the time. But for the devotees, that moment is big. For the non-devotees, that devotees is a catastrophe. This is very scary. Because they also see these forms, but because they don't surrender, they never practice surrender, so therefore they are very scared at that moment. I saw this in my life. I witnessed this. I saw this. People living this. This happened like this. And we saw also if a devotee lives, he's very peaceful, very calm, looking very beautiful, because the darshan of the most beautiful. The Lord never will give up his devotee. Even the devotee won't give up the Lord. The Lord himself will run there. Like in the South India, in the Lila of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, his servant Krishna Das, he was his mic, he learned the mic, his Radha's gypsies, they're keeping nice women, nice everything, they want to lure the man to increase the community. So finally, the Krishna Das, he became bewildered, and in the early morning, he left Mahaprabhu, association. Mahaprabhu association means association with spiritual world, all everything. He left and he went there. But what Mahaprabhu did, immediately he went up and he ran there. He said, what is going on here? And these people there, they want to attack Mahaprabhu with the spears around Mahaprabhu. But all of a sudden, with the power of the Lord, the spears turned over and they pierced themselves. He fell down and he became very scared and moved on away. Mahaprabhu took Krishna Das by the hair and dragged him out, brought him back. Devotee won't go to Maya, devotee won't go away from Krishna, but the Lord will not let him go. He himself bring him back. And opposite, if the Lord wants to leave his devotee, the devotee has the power that the Lord cannot leave. In Bilva Mangal Thakur's Leela Shukra, it's happened. Old man, blind, finally forgot this material vision and went there with a stick, guiding Krishna, guiding him. And Krishna said, okay, now we are Vrindavan. I wanted to come to Vrindavan. I will go now. And the old man, blind, said, what I can do? You can escape externally from me. But inside my heart, I will not allow you to go for kalpasyaons. Like this. So Krishna will never let this devotee go. And opposite the devotee, even Krishna on the board, devotee have that Shakti. That, how to say, Krishna Karasini, highest type of love devotee have. The Lord can never go from him. So that is, to come back to the point about what we should desire if we're meditating, if we're contemplating, if we're thinking. So what should we meditate in our life, in this life, about what to achieve? So of course it's free for everybody, because Krishna, he gives this little so-called independence, that you can decide also the wrong path. Like blind man is running, he does not know what's the way, he's doing the right thing. So like this, for this is also one kind of leader of the Lord, to give this little freedom. Otherwise it becomes like a robot or a mechanic. Then it will be no this taste to the grass, to feel that will not come. So you need many unlimited leaders, but one of these leaders is to play with you need some jivas who will go to this mic, bewildering, capturing energy of him. But he himself is never touched by it. Like the air, the ether is in the air, but the ether is not touched or connected with the air. It's explained like this. So everything is Krishna, Krishna's energy, but same time is completely aloof from it. It's not, the example, comparison is given with air and ether. It's together, it's one thing, but still separate. So like this. So we play this wonderful leela that he come out from the spiritual abode with his parishats, eternal associates, come here in this world and perform wonderful, complete, amazing pastimes that nobody can even imagine. Or like Shukadeva, how they read the Bhagavad and what is there is, nobody can imagine this. You must believe that this comes from God Himself. This is His wish to manifest in such and such a way here to play this pastimes. Of course, if you look to Ukraine or to some places where people are starving, they have no food, then this looks very hard, and this looks a hard time to realize, understand what about this independence can cause, to which point you can come. So much suffering in this world. Also hellish planet suffering, also heaven planet suffering. There also intention, demons can come any moment if you make some mistakes, some apparat was there, then immediately they do go everything and they have had complete suffering. So to come out from this suffering is not so easy without the grace of Bhagavan and his beloved devotees. Manifest in the Bhagavata, written Bhagavata and moving Bhagavata. Moving Bhagavata, who contains all this nectar, unlimited nectar of Krishna's consciousness, prem, love, pure love in the heart. Just by seeing them, touching them, or get any connection with them, you get purified. But it's necessary to understand about all the leaders of Bhagavan. It must be purified from love. So the purification is not stopped, it must go on. Chetutapa Namajana. Our Vishnu Maharaj used to give, for example, if you go with a car in rain and you must need a wiper, and if you stop the wiper, your vision is gone. You have to wipe continuously. So we have to chant, hear, remember, speak, bow down, and all these devotional practices to practice in our life. To get to a final tune, fragrance, fine tune, to connect with eternity and to put the mind and our wishing capacity to tune in the proper direction. And this is just only one direction. One direction means back home to God, back home to our Sarup, to our origin, who we are, what is our real Swadharma. Not this just maintaining body, family, society. This is automatically will be performed. There's so many beautiful leaders, if a devotee completely surrenders, even if a grihastha family have to responsibly job to earn money, if he completely surrenders to do only the seva of Hari Guru, Vaishnava, Krishna himself goes there and maintains if any problem is in the family, any problem they have, he himself maintains that. That he promised this, and he never breaks his promise. What is this in the Counter, yes, so he promised this. He told Arjuna, you say this, even I myself sometimes I do not believe. So his devotees speak this, to believe that. So my speech is took really a lot of time, I think. Devotees from this. Now is Maharaj tomorrow, he will go back to the spiritual Dham, like now we're talking about go back home because Maharaj, you're fortunate to this divine manifest realm of the Lord, the spiritual abode. All this dust, this subtle energy is working there, it's very special. means you automatically can develop the proper desire. Proper desire means to purify ourselves to that point that we only cry to the Bhagavan and to try to help to others. So much compassion in our charities, they have to spend all their energy, their life, their prana, just to help to others. For themselves, something will come, not come, they don't care. But sometimes Krishna gives so much to them that they need many managers to manage all these huge properties in the world, just to glorify the beautiful Lord of Goloka. Thank you very much. All glories is unto this, all glories to Guru Radha, Radha, Radha. Not works, we need another adjustment.
But that is too small that to put
We need another adjustment.
Where is that piece we had that small?
So, Sripad Bhakti Chakra Narasimha Maharaj is speaking something just normal, in a nice way, speaking something natural from his heart. Sometimes, often, we do like to be hearing from the devotees. Often we should like, we love to hear some Harikatha from the lips of the nice sadhus, the sincere devotees. The Harikatha, what they speak, for informal way. Okay, no previous planning, no calculated ways, no previous planning. That's why the devotees simply start speaking Harikatha, Krishna Katha, just normal, informal way, spontaneously from their heart. There's special sweetness in there. Relaxing taste is there. So that's what I was feeling. Narasimha Maharaj, Narasimha Harikatha. The way he was speaking, spontaneously, relaxed way, sweet feelings, simple but very nice. So, we often hear some great Harikathas from some great sadhus, and which manifested more in informal ways, but they were a special type of Harikathas. We have experienced that in our life. That a pure sadhu, a pure devotee, just began to speak Harikatha in a spontaneous way, simple way, in a very informal way, but so experience, some little valuable experiences. Okay, although presented in a simplified, simple way, but they're also valuable. And just some Harikatha has manifested like that in very informal ways, natural ways, valuable wealth. Consider valuable wealth. So, just a while ago, Sadhu Maharaj was telling Dhai Tabu Pachi Pachi. So, I want to catch that. So I also just want to be flowing with that mode. Dhai Tabu Pachi Pachi. Running after the pure Vaishnavas. Happily, delightfully, joyfully, is running after the pure Vaishnavas, pure devotees of the Lord. And very safe, very profitable. Many places, taking the leadership, in other words, leading from the front, okay, especially when somebody is unqualified, trying to be leading from the front. He himself doesn't know where to lead, how to lead. But just out of some ego, out of some false ego, trying to be leader and trying to be leading from the front without even knowing, properly knowing what is the real goal, what is the true destination. So that kind of leading activity becomes misleading often. Often becomes misleading because it's more illusioned. Because the leader doesn't have the clear knowledge of concepts. How to lead, where to lead to what goal. So therefore, it is always better. It is always better and safe and very advisable for the beginner sadhus, for the beginner devotees, to be doing that, to be taking the position of Dhai Tabu Pachi Pachi. Very safe and secure. Accept the leadership of some truly great, experienced, realized Vaishnava, and let him lead, accept him as, respectfully accepting him as our leader. Leader is quite safe, just be situated in his gracious shelter, under his shelter, and just peacefully, worry-free way, okay, just following him with our faith, our deep faith and respect, just following in his footsteps, okay, following a truly qualified leader, okay, who is so trustworthy, in whom we can put all faith, of knowing that I will be reaching my destination. I will be reaching my my real destination, final destination, divine destination, as I keep on following in his footsteps. But this is applied to a pure Vaishnava, pure Sadhu. So back to the point. Sadhu Maharaj was mentioning about that line, last line of the song, Hey Vaishnava Thakur Darsha. I said, oh, that's one of the very safest and secure, anxiety-less ways. Okay, remaining in the safe center of a Vaishnava, just be running after, following, anxiety-lessly following after the Vaishnava, in the footsteps of the Vaishnava leader, without taking up the responsibility of leadership, without him taking the responsible position of leading. It requires a lot of qualifications and a lot of sacrifice, a lot of responsibility to be leading properly. But taking the position, simply taking the position behind the leader, following, behind the qualified leader, and following him peacefully, happily, relaxed, childfully, full of faith. It's a great solace, great relief in life. It's a very very satisfying, self-satisfying, gain-some, divinely gain-some procedure of life, state of life. So, just as small babies, small children are just following their parents with full faith and trust and free of anxiety and concern, knowing, oh, my parents know. My parents know how to guide me, take care of me. Okay, so feeling in the center of parents, guardians, loving guardians, and just following them, flowing with them with so much trust. Feelings of love and trust. In our spiritual world also, we have that. Finding so much solace, peaceful solace. There's so much relieving. So much relief and, how to say, satisfying position. A satisfying position of feeling so secure and satisfied. Just to be in the center of Vaishnava, following after him. Just as when we receive a great teacher in life, sometimes we say, friends, philosopher, guide. There's a saying, oh, he is mine, or she is my friend, philosopher, guide of life. Having so much appreciation. So, when you receive a great teacher, great guide in our life, out of great fortune, okay, and just continue following that, cultivating, developing ourselves, getting developed, okay, under their blessed center. Okay, under their blessed guidance. Loving guardianship is such a sweet and fortune-giving position. Therefore, Anugatya, having the pure mode of submissiveness, with humility, while we are in connection with the higher sadhus, higher Vaishnavas, truly qualified, pure sadhus, pure Vaishnavas. There's so much praise, has been so much valued, so much glorified in the Holy Scriptures by the Mahajanas. So the very song, the starting devotional songs we actually sing in our everyday life. One of them is Vaishnava Thakur, Dayalu Shravan, Hidasya Koruna. the last line of which, spoken by, pointed out by Sadhu Maharaj, Srimad Sadhu Maharaj. Ami to Kamal, Krishna Krishna Boli, Dhai Tabu Pachi Pachi. So in that song, this is one of the most educative songs. Although everyday life we the devotees are singing that song, Hey Vaishnava Thakur Dayara Swami, just in a more general and normal, casual way. But as we deeply look into it, as we take a deep look into the esoteric meanings of such song, we find there are deeper meanings, very, very beneficial, so much beneficial meanings, and it's so educative song. Very, very beneficial if you can follow the education's instructions, guidance given to such song. Apparently it looks to be very simple one. It is simple, at the same time it is very valuable, very profitable, spiritually profitable. Starting with Vaishnava Thakur, তুমি দয়ার সাগর এ দাসে করুণা করি। O Vaishnava Thakur, O Vaishnava Thakur, I am praying to you, humbly praying to you, knowing that you are the ocean of mercy, because you are known to be the ocean of compassion, ocean of mercy for one and all. So here I am, presenting myself to you, it's very needy. So please be having your mercy on me. Edashe karuna kori. Please be kind enough, compassionate enough to be giving your loving shelter. Please be kindly rectifying me, purifying me, and prepare me, qualify me in a more pure way under your gracious shelter, embracing me in your gracious shelter, O Vaishnava Thakur. Vaishnava Thakur, তুমি দয়ালু সাগর. So because of that, এদাসে করুণা করি দিয়া পদছায়া শোধ হে আমার তোমার চরণ. Vaishnava Thakur, I embrace your lotus feet. I hold your lotus feet to my heart, close to my heart, begging you, humbly praying you to be granting your gracious shelter to me, to be absorbing me in your gracious shelter, in the domain, in the world of your loving guardianship, so that I can be blossoming, I can be developing nicely, beautifully, truly developing, blossoming with all spiritual beauty, fragrance, and all wealth, being taken care of by you, being taken care of by you, nurtured by you, guided by you. Oh my Lord Vaishnava Thakur, because I have known you are the ocean of compassion, mercy. Therefore, I am praying to you to have mercy on me. Otherwise, it will not be very befitting or justifying to your great name that you are ocean of mercy. Unless you have that mercy on me, give that mercy, bestow mercy from you, because I feel so needy with that. So that's how the first line of the song started. The mood of humbleness and humility. Praying to a Sadguru, praying to a Sadguru, Vaishnava Thakur. Because Sadguru is none other than a great Vaishnava. So sometimes we think, oh, Vaishnava Guru, they are different. Generally, it may be understood as different. They interconnected different way, but actually, every great Vaishnava is qualified to become Guru, take the position of Sri Gurudev. So Sri Gurudev, in other words, means a Vaishnava Srishta, a foremost of the Vaishnavas, a great among the Vaishnavas. That's what Sri Gurudev is, in other words. A Vaishnava Srishta means a qualified Sri Gurudev. A qualified Sri Gurudev means a foremost Vaishnava. So, this prayer is made to Vaishnava Srishta, Sri Gurudev and all, and in general to all the great Vaishnavas, pure Vaishnavas. Then, what was that prayer? Diya Padachaya Shodhaya Amay Tomar Charana. Please be absorbed in me, in the center of your lotus feet. You know, the lotus feet is a symbolical way, poetically symbolical way of describing the center. Understand that? Like sometimes to address some very highly honorable person, we do not directly call their name, but rather say, Your Highness, Your Excellency, Your Honor, Your Holiness. Although it sounds to be like an abstract type, but there is more high-class way, more high-class honorable way to be addressing exalted personalities with those adjectives. Your divine grace, Mr. Gurudev, your divine grace. Not directly tell the name. So, symbolical way is more respectful forms of addressing a high-class person. Respectful form, very respectful way, term to be related. In a similar way, when we are trying to speak about, talk about, saying something about the shelter, higher spiritual shelter of an exalted devotee, our Supreme Lord. In the Indian Vedic way, the style of address is the lotus feet. Because the feet is considered a base on the ground. You know, our feet, 2 feet are well grounded, and based on the ground. So, in a symbolical, poetically symbolical way, the lotus feet is not like ordinary feet. Like we say, Your Highness, Your Exalted Holiness, Your Honor, Your Divineness. Here, Your lotus feet. So, lotus feet, compared with the lotus flower, a beautiful, honorable way of saying it. Okay. So, the lotus feet considered to be the great center. Lotus feet of the Lord, lotus feet of the Vaishnava. In that way, often when devotees may wonder, why lotus feet, why so much glorification around the lotus feet? Not legs or hands or chest or head, lotus feet. To understand in a divinely poetical sense, shelter, divine solace and shelter. Shelter full of blessings and grace. Okay. So sometimes in some cultures we find, while they express deep feelings of love, they rather give kissing. Okay. Hugging and kissing are some symbolical ways, formally symbolical ways of extending love appreciation. Materially, biologically kissing, so what? Touching cheek with the lips, so what? Hugging, so what? So formally it doesn't mean anything, but when it is meaningfully done, when it becomes the higher media of extending, conveying one's loving appreciation, respectful love and appreciation, then they become so valuable, kissing or hugging. In a similar way, in Vedic, high class Vedic spiritual culture, we touch the lotus feet. That's why I'm giving you all these examples. Instead of always giving hugging and kissing, the juniors or let me say, when I say junior, not in a derivative sense, proper sense. So juniors, juniors always pay respect. The seniors, by touching their lotus feet, by bowing down to their lotus feet, touching their lotus feet, it's a Vedic way of showing great respect. So why lotus feet? Because lotus feet is considered, it is called as lotus feet, not just only feet, holy feet, lotus feet. Because it's considered a very special way that it is my basis. Because the lotus feet are always well grounded. So it is understood in a more symbolical way. Down to the earth, firmly situated on ground, like self. So, lotus feet of the Sri Gurudev, lotus feet of Vaishnavas, lotus feet of Supreme Lord, considered to be my own base, center of life. So, it has to be poetically understood. Many things like that. See, sometimes there are certain body languages. We use certain body languages in our life. They are no less expressive than language words. And when we say, don't take personal, pointing out means, when I say like this, means I am directing to you something. Some like, not speaking, but they are very expressive. Okay? Very expressive. So in the same way, similar way, when we touch the lotus feet, the way the devotees touch the lotus feet, respect the lotus feet, offering obeisance to the lotus feet, very significant. So that it's a language of submission, very effective language of humble submission, expressing humility, honoring a great person by touching the lotus feet. Saying, I'm not qualified to touch your higher limbs, higher parts of the body, too high for me. I won't dare to do that. But I will be touching. You should be allowed to be touching your holy feet. Lotus feet. Sorry. So, Diya Pada Chaya Shadhaya Mai Tomar Chalana. Devoted humbly pray, please let me, absorb me under your gracious shelter, under your Thakur, my best well-wisher, my divine guardian, loving guardian, please be absorbing me, compassionately absorbing me in your gracious shelter, and be rectifying me, purifying me, and prepare me with your own hands, with your own, under your own loving care, to become a qualified devotee of Radha Krishna. Chai Begodomi, next line, Chai Begodomi, Chai Doshashari, Chai Guno Dehodashi. Praying, so Thakur Bhakti Vinod is extending, manifesting such prayers in this way. Following in the mode of Sri Rupa Goswami from the Upadeshamrita. The whole song, Vaishnava Thakur Darasha, actually so much following in the mode of, in the flow of Upadeshamritam, all the beautiful instructions by Sri Rupa Goswami to Upadeshamritam. There we find the mentions of child dosh, Vacho Begam, Manasha Krodha Begam, Jova Begam, Udarupasta Begam, Edan Begam, Jo Mishahita Begam, Sarvama Begam, Prithim Sashisha, Prabhu Dasham, Chaya Begam, Chaya Doshashati. What are the 6 doshas? Atyahara Prayashascha Prajal Puriyama Guru, Janasangascha Laulancha Saikhi Bhakti Panchipyashi. That is Chaya dosh. Chaya, 6 kinds of faults. 6 types of shortcomings. Atyahara Prayasascha Prajal Puriyama Guru, Janasangascha Laulancha Saikhi Bhakti Panchipyashi. Then Chaya Guno Dehodashi, Chaya Gun, Maharaj knows. Utsaha, Nishchaya, Dharja, Tat Karma Prabhakshana, Sanga Tyaga, Sadhu, Vitte, Sadhi, Bhakti, Prasiddhati. Chaya Guno Dehodashi, Chaya Sat Sanga, we say. Excellent. Dadati Pratigrhinadi, Gaudiya Prichati, Bhumte Bhojayate Chaiva, Sarvidham Pritilakshanam. Chaya Sat Sanga, Dehoya Mai, Boshechi Sangero Ashi. Oh, Vaishnava Thakur, I am hankering. Now I am embracing, with my hankering to be embracing your most auspicious association. In other words, now I am hankering for your most benedicting association. For my real advancement, development, without your gracious shelter, without receiving your gracious shelter, your loving guardianship, loving guidance, without having your mercy, your merciful grant, I cannot make any progress. I cannot be advanced. I know it. I have understood that fact. Prabhu. So, mercifully be absorbing my heart and soul, absorbing me in your gracious center. Therefore, I am earnestly seeking your sanga, Boshechi, Sangera Ashe. I am earnestly hankering after your sanga. Means holy association, benedicting association. That is my last hope. That's my all hope. I have known Sadhu Sangha, Sarva Shastri Kare. Labhamatra Sadhu Sangha, Sarva Siddhi Hai. Often question arises around this point, Labhamatra Sadhu Sangha, how it is possible. It is just said in a poetical way, but absurd. Labhamatra means taking holy association of a pure sadhu even for a fraction of a moment. But for a second or so, fraction of a moment, okay, we can be so much gaining. We can be gaining so much, we can have so much higher spiritual gain just by moments, holy association of a sadhu. How could it be possible? But it is true. The Guru Bhargavas, the Mahajans explain, it works like current, electricity current. If there is real sadhu and if there is real seeker, can truly connect. Electricity doesn't take long time to flow through. It just manifests, just start flowing so fastly, just within a second. So meaning that even someone takes Sadhu Sangha, holy Sadhu Sangha, even for a moment, some unknown Sukriti starts from there, like a seed of fire. Seed of fire is received. So it looks like a seed of fire. But once you continue fueling it, that can be converted into huge fire. So that possibility is there, that seed is planted. In that way, it is said ultimately, when the seed is planted, it means you have received great potential, prosperity. So a seed is none other than the future's big tree. We have to understand that way. It doesn't mean that immediately, with the moment's association of a pure sadhu, immediately that person became turned into a great devotee, great Siddha Mahatma. It doesn't happen that way. But finally it happens. As a final result, in the consequence it happens, seed is planted. Seed is there. Okay? It will be sprouting and it will be turned into a big banyan tree, big fruit tree, eventually, as the cultivation goes on. So the receiving that seed is so important. One can go on for many, many years without seed, nothing will happen. Trying so much, nothing will happen. But when seed is received, planted properly, and then cultivated, that can bring sarvasiddhi. Prabhupada Sadhu Sangha sarvasiddhi, it is meant in that sense, far-reaching sense, including potential, prospects, everything. That's how it is to be understood. Prabhupada Sadhu sarvasiddhi. Sometimes it so happens, even literally it can happen, by one moments, properly understood, properly realized, properly received association, turn can come. Just as it happened for Ratnakara Dashu, when came in contact with Devarsi Narada, maybe more than seconds, minutes, but it's not a big association for big time. Because Devarsi Narada, a powerful, pure sadhu. And here is the example of one singer. Two opposite examples. Two opposite, entities meeting each other. What happened? What happened? See, one time meeting of the Ratnakara Dashu with Devarsi Narada just turned him. Eventually, same Ratnakara Dashu manifested as who? Valmiki Muni. From the worst state to the highest good stage. Turned by the momentary association. Association for a little while, association of a pure sadhu in a little while, for a little while. Then and there he gave him initiation, instructed him to be chanting Ram, 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 all happening within a short while. Maybe within an hour or so, kind of, or within a couple of hours association. So he initiated him with holy name of Lord Ram, instructed him to be meditating. He had all faith, with full faith in his Guru's instructions. He continued chanting holy names of Lord Ram. At some point, where he he was not being able to be chanting properly in the first place. Rama was not coming in his tongue. The holy name could not be chanted. So he started, they just saying, chanted, other way around, Mora, 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 Ram, Ram, this way. Okay, the Mora was because he was bad, Ratnakar Dashru, kind of Dashru. So, Mora means death, killing. So that was easily coming with him. From there, Ram, because he immediately had pure intention. He had full faith in his Guru's words, instructions, full faith and pure intention. Pure intention to chant Rama. In the beginning it didn't come, but because of his full respect and faith and his nishtha, and devotion in the words of Guru, and the pure intention, at some point, holy name, Lord Rama came. So, he was able to be chanting the holy name, Lord Rama, 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 so much, became so meditated, so absorbed in that, how do you say, Balvika. Termites building was formed all over his body, he did not know. Therefore, he was named as Balmiki. Balmiki was true, so he was named after that Balmiki movie. So it can happen. Alright. Humbly remain here. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Suresh Bhaktinanand Swami Maharaj ki Jai. Sadhu Maharaj ki Jai. Maharaj ki Jai. All glorious servants.
Maharaj ki Jai.